Good morning students, hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to discuss about a topic, cell, the unit of life. You all know that biology is the study of living organisms, and we have a large variety of living organisms from microscopic bacteria to the huge blue whale. And all these living organisms have a basic feature in common. What is that? That is the cell. They all are made of building blocks called cell. Now what is cell? Cell is the fundamental structural and functional unit of all living beings. Yes, every organ in our body is composed of hundreds of thousands of such cells, and every part of a plant is composed of cells. Every cell has its own life, and cells are very small. They can be only seen under the microscope. They cannot be seen without a microscope. They are very small, for which they can only be seen under a microscope. Hence we call cell as a microscopic. Now we come to the discovery of cell. Here in the picture you can see I am showing you the different organisms starting from microbes till human and animal. Starting from microbes, like we are starting from unicellular organism to few celled organism, then multicellular organism. These all organisms are composed of cells. Now we go to discovery of cells. Now the first microscope was constructed by Dutch scientist Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Why I am saying this? Because cell was discovered after the invention of microscope. Yes, after the invention of microscope, the cell was discovered. Antony van Leeuwenhoek was the Dutch scientist. He made a microscope using a single biconvex lens. In his microscope, the eyes are used to keep close to the lens on one side, and the object was mounted on the needle-like screw point on the opposite side of the lens. You can see the picture I am showing of his microscope. Now after Antony van Leeuwenhoek, the another scientist came forward. He was Robert Hooke. Yes, Robert Hooke. He was an English scientist. He also developed a microscope by using two lenses for achieving greater magnification. Such microscopes we call compound microscope. Now what this Hooke did, he not only developed a compound microscope, but he also the first person to see cells, also the first person to coin the word cell. How he did that? Hooke examined a thin slice of cork under his microscope and observed it many tiny box-like compartments piled up together. This reminded him as the rooms or cells of monks in a monastery, and so he named it as a cells. And this is how the cell was discovered by the famous scientist Robert Hooke. Yes, now we come to cell theory. So children, cell theory was proposed by three famous scientists, Scladen, Schwann and Virchow. Now, Scladen, a German botanist, announced that every plant is made up of cells. Later on, Schwann came forward. He was a German zoologist. He declared that all animals and plants are composed of cells, which serve as the units of structure and function. And this made the cell theory. Later on, Rudolf Virchow made an addition to the cell theory by adding one more point, that every cells originate from pre-existing cells by cell division. That make up the cell theory, which states three major points. Now we come to smallness of cells is greater efficiency. Yes, we all know cells are microscopic, they are very small, and this smallness of cells provides a greater efficiency by two main reasons. Why? Because due to its smallness, different regions of a cell can communicate with each other rapidly for the cell to function effectively. Now cells have a large surface area, or you can say volume ratio, for greater diffusion of substances in and out of the cells. In the picture you can see we have one big cube which is divided into you just consider it as we have divided into several small blocks. The front blocks, you can see it is made of 8 blocks. Yeah. Now if we just take this 8 blocks, then the total surface area of these 8 smaller blocks or cubes will be many than the one large box. Like this, we can say that larger cells have less surface area relative to volume, and more the smallness of cells have a larger surface area. Now next we come to cell shapes. Yes, the size of the cell and shape of the cell. As I told you beforehand, the cells are very small. They cannot be seen through naked eyes. They can only be seen through microscope, or you can say under a microscope. Hence cells are called microscopic. They can only be observed under a microscope. Next, another thing, we come to cell shapes. Yes, in this picture you can see different types of cells are there. These all are human body cells. See, the muscle cells are differently shaped, blood cells are differently shaped, bone cells, skin cells, nerve cells. You can see different cells have different shapes. Why these cells are different in shape? It is because this different shape of the cell is actually relate to the different function they perform. Yes, the shape of the cell actually depend, or you can say the shape of the cell depend on the job they do. You can see the nerve cell, it's quite long, isn't it? Why? Because it participates in conducting impulses. Muscle cells, they are smooth, long. It is because it participate in contraction and relaxation. So etc. Different shape of the cell is to suit functional requirement that they perform. Now today up to this. Thank you.